Hey, what's up guys? It's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. So today we're going to be checking out this series of pedals from Ibanez that is now discontinued. This is the 7 series, or the Tone-Lok series, and you can tell that they're all from this series of pedals because they all have this housing. It's a very specific looking housing and it's this gray metallic color, and they're Tone-Lok pedals because these knobs, if you push them in, they pop out like this, and so you can adjust them and then you can push them back in and they click. And so in theory, if they're on like a pedal board or something, it'd be a lot harder to accidentally turn your knob, which I think is a pretty cool design. So a quick little history on these pedals. This line, the 7 line, or the Tone-Lok line, was introduced in 1999, and they ran, I think, probably until the mid-2000s, maybe as late as 2005 or 2006 or something like that. Maybe later. If you know, let me know in the comments. So I got a reverb recently, and I tracked down 4 of these. 2 of these pedals I've already had before. I've already had this Tube Screamer pedal, and I already had one of these CF7 chorus / flanger pedals, so I know a little bit about those. I really don't know much about the DE7 Delay Echo or the FH7 Phaser, so we're going to be checking them out today. And I just want to know, do they sound good? Do they hold up now? So as far as my signal chain is concerned, it's very simple today. I'm using my PRS David Grissom guitar with my signature Planet Tones to Terra pickups. I will leave a link to those pickups in the description if you like them and you want to check them out. And I'm running from this guitar out of a cable into over on the far side of the pedals. There's a little True Tone buffer, and that's just because I'm running a lot of cable and several pedals in the line and I didn't want to be sucking the tone. So I've got a little True Tone buffer over there, and then we're running straight into the phaser pedal, then into the chorus pedal, then into the Tube Screamer, and then into the front of my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200, which I have mic'd up on my Mesa Boogie oversized 112 cabinet with a Celestion Vintage 30 in it. And then in the effects loop of the Hughes & Kettner, I have this delay pedal because I tend to think delay just sounds the best in the effects loop. Personal preference. Okay, so here's our clean amp sound, like I said, with just a hair of reverb on it. Alright, so we'll just go down the line here. We'll start with the phaser pedal. So I'm going to go ahead and pop all these knobs out so that we can adjust them a little bit. So on the phaser pedal, you have a speed control, a depth control, a feedback control, and a level control. Just make sure I'm seeing that right. Level control. And then you have a little switch for 1 or 2, and I think that's for the amount of steps in the phaser, so a 1-step phaser or a 2-step phaser. So let's just see what it sounds like. So I have everything pretty much set halfway up right now in the 1 position. So if we just reach over and just turn it on. So here's what it sounds like, just everything halfway up. Pretty subtle, but it's one of those where if you like if I kick over some gain, it'll be more noticeable. Honestly, that's probably how I would use this pedal. I would probably just put everything halfway up and have it in the 1 position. So, without changing the knobs, let's just go over to the 2 position and hear the difference that makes. You can hear it moving slowly, and it's a very subtle effect. So let's put it on 2. So that's the phaser sound. So let's move on down to the chorus/flanger pedal. So once again, here's our clean, unaffected sound with just a little bit of reverb on it. This is a chorus and flanger pedal, and there's a switch that lets you choose between chorus and flanger. And there's also a switch that's normal and wacky. So wacky is just like more extreme, like really exaggerated effects. That is a very pronounced chorus sound, and it's unique. It's not like, it doesn't sound like an old analog chorus where it's like kind of warbly so much. It's more like almost a kind of 80s like pitch shifty detune kind of chorus. It's very like edgy sounding. And I'm noticing it does add a little bit of volume as well, which may or may not be something you like. And then if we just flip over to the flanger sound, that's a really nice flanger sound, in my opinion. And I love that that's at the halfway mark. Like to me, that's immediately like the Unchained level of swoosh. You know, so if I put on a gain sound, if we just go back to the chorus setting here, so here's the chorus setting and everything halfway up. And then if we just switch it over to the wacky position, this is the sound that makes. That is both hilarious and useless. It's so warbly you can't even make out like what the pitch of the note is. So let's switch over to the flanger with the wacky setting. That's a little bit more usable. That just sounds like something you hear on an old Alice Cooper record, you know? The Tube Screamer. This is the one I think is going to interest people because these are not very expensive and it's a surprisingly good sounding pedal. So once again, here's our clean, unaffected sound. It's a little bit of reverb. So if we just turn the Tube Screamer pedal on with everything halfway up on that clean sound, that's a great sound. If you're playing, you know, kind of lower to medium gain stuff, and you have just a nice sounding clean like Fender combo or something, you put that in front of it, you're gonna get a great drive sound, and that is mega useful, I think. So if we just crank up the drive, that sounds like this. Maybe we turn down the tone a little bit. That's a totally usable drive sound all by itself, which you usually would not be able to get out of a tube screamer. A tube screamer is usually just kind of like a overdrive on top of overdrive sound to me. But you could use that as a distortion pedal. This pedal also has a switch. So the switch here, it has TS9 and hot. So we've got on the TS9 sound. I've never had a TS9, so I can't tell you if that sounds like a TS9 or not, but it sounds good. But if we switch over to the hot setting, basically what it's going to do is just add more gain. Let's just see what the max of the gain is. It's getting noisy. So the tube screamer's got a lot of stuff going for it. Like, that's a good sound. It's got a lot of gain on tap. You could totally use that as just a standalone distortion pedal if you have a really nice clean sound. You just have to kind of adjust it to your taste. So here's like a crunch sound. So let's say that's like your, you're using an AC-15 or AC-30 or something. That's your like normal sound, And you just want some more for like a little heavier part or a lead part or something, you might kick on the tube screamer. Maybe we put it in front of a higher gain sound and you just want to use it as a lead boost. So here's like a good, like Marshall-y sound. And you just want to use the tube screamer to give you some more sustain and like bite for leads. That's a great sounding pedal, and that's with everything halfway up. So the tube screamer passes my approval seal, definitely. And finally, last but not least, we have the DE7 delay echo pedal. So this one's got a few more controls on it, but it's all pretty self-explanatory type stuff. I could be wrong here, but I think it sounds to me like when you have it on the echo sound, it's more of an analog delay sound where it kind of like the repeats kind of get a little darker and they start to kind of decay. Just more organic, old school sounding. And then you have the delay sound, which is more like a clean digital repeat. It's just exactly the same thing, just lowering in volume. So on the echo sound, with everything halfway up on the lowest setting, it's going to be like a really almost like a slapback sound. So here's our clean sound. And if I put the delay on, right? So I'm going to turn the delay time up here. So that's a little easier to hear what I'm doing there. So that's with the delay time all the way up in that short setting. So it's still pretty fast. But if I put it in the middle position, now the delay time all the way up is this. And you can really hear the echoes there. You can hear how it's decaying and getting darker and kind of falling apart. And I think if I put it over on the delay setting, when I do that, it's just going to be a clean delay repeat. Yeah, you hear how it doesn't like eat up the top end anymore, it just sounds like the same thing repeated. I prefer the echo sound. I like the kind of warm delay thing. So if I put that on like a drive sound, now we got all these pedals out here, so we can dial in a really cool lead sound, for instance. So like, I like that delay sound right there. But if I'm going to play a lead, I probably would like some more overdrive, so we'll kick on the tube screamer. That's a really nice sound. So if you want to do the Van Halen thing, you can turn on the phase in front of that. Or if you want the later Van Halen thing, like the you know, kind of pound cake era, you could turn on the chorus here. Alright, so that's the Ibanez 7 series, or at least 4 of the like 17 or something different models they made. There's a wah pedal and several different distortions and some other stuff. But I think these sound really good, and like I said, they're relatively inexpensive. I think the most expensive one here was the delay, and it was less than $100. And I think they sound really good, and they're built really well. They're nice and rugged, and I like the Tone-Lok feature. If you guys dig this and you want to hear more about one of these pedals, and you know, like specifically, I can do one in like a hidden gems thing. But I just wanted to see what these sounded like, if they still hold up, and I think not only do they hold up, but they sound better than I remember them sounding. So that's what's up, man. So until next time, I will catch you later.